Do you like fruity women? Are you into internet lore? Or are you a useless lesbian abandoned by her father and grandma to go be in a cult, now deeply invested in creepy online horror stories while gaslighting yourself into thinking your quote-unquote partner in crime is in love with you? Well, do I have the girls love novel or manga for you. Disclaimer, there will be mild spoilers and I'll focus mainly on the novel since that's where most of the content is, but everything I say also applies to the manga. So, Otherside Picnic is a Yuri novel written by Yuri and illustrated by Shirakawa. It was first published in Japan on February 23, 2017, and later released in English on September 23, 2019. Since then, it's been adapted into a manga and an anime as well. Also, quick fact, while some people call it a light novel, it technically isn't one. It's published by Hayakawa Publishing, which is a major sci-fi publisher in Japan that does not produce light novels. Even Miyazawa himself said he didn't write it as one, but you know, slap some anime-style illustrations and the West will call it a light novel. Anyways, what's Otherside Picnic about? Well, we follow Sorowo Kamikoshi, a socially awkward uni student obsessed with urban legends and internet horror. She's also a painfully oblivious fruity girl who makes me want to cry sometimes, dear Jesus. But one day, while she's exploring, she stumbles into what they call the other side. The other side is an alternate universe filled with creepy creatures and terrifying anomalies. Sorowo, being the weirdo she is fascinated by it. As she was about to die in a mysterious puddle, she's rescued by Toriko Nishina, who literally, oh my god, give me a Toriko, someone give me a Toriko, please and thank you. But Toriko is this beautiful, tall blonde woman who's in the other side searching for her missing friend, but also obsession, Satsuki Aruma. Together, they form a bond like no other, a partnership to explore the other side, unraveling its mysteries and hopefully find Satsuki. The other side is packed with eerie entities pulled straight from internet lore and urban legends like the Kune Kune, which in English is literally translated into wiggle wiggle. Like the name, you can assume it just stands there and wiggles. Of course, there's more to it. If you see it, you're dead. Stand near it, you're dead. Acknowledge its existence, you guessed it, you're dead. Then we also have other entities like the Hashaku-sama, which I'm pretty sure you guys heard about her before. She's a tall, pale woman in a wide-brimmed hat who basically lures people in with a feeling of nostalgia before making them vanish into a blue light. The original lore, though, is pretty weird, not gonna lie. She only preys on young children, which, well, some people were very interesting with it, let's just say that. And then we have ninja cats. Yeah, ninja cats. Which, you know what? Hell yeah, why not? But honestly, I do not know what the lore is. He explained it and I honestly still don't know. But even with all those weird entities, there's also some chilling ones that honestly stuck in my head, like the red person, who makes you feel safe and warm while secretly manipulating you into doing things I can't say here. But each chapter introduces new terrifying creatures, making the world building feel incredibly rich and immersive. And especially if you like internet lore and urban legends, you will literally just love this book from this. But what really hooked me in wasn't just the other side. It was the characters and their beautifully well-written selves with, honestly, realistic complexities and flaws. Sorowo is a introverted and socially anxious uni student who struggles deeply with her self-worth. This insecurity creates a fear of intimacy, making it difficult for her to accept affection, especially from Toriko. Her fascination with the other side is an intellectual curiosity, but also a form of escapism. And even though Toriko is always by her side, the presence of Satsuki Iruma creates a barrier between them, making it even harder for Sorowo to accept Toriko's feelings. Toriko, on the other hand, seems charismatic and confident, but beneath her confident facade lies a very deep emotional dependence on her missing friend, Satsuki. She clings on to the idea that Satsuki's still alive, and with how Satsuki disappeared, Toriko developed a fear of abandonment. And even though she seems confident and strong to others around her, Toriko can show a softer side, especially with Sorowo. She actively pursues Sorowo, but at the same time is conflicted due to Sorowo's denial of her feelings. Kozakura, who's more of a side character, is a researcher specializing in the other side. Unlike Sorowo and Toriko, she wants absolutely nothing to do with the exploration of the other side, because honestly, who would? But despite her fear, she still wants to take care of Sorowo and Toriko, treating them like her own little daughters, even if it's reluctant. Each character, side characters or main characters, go through a significant character development throughout the story. I don't want to say too much to spoil, but especially with Sorowo, it's interesting to see how she deals with these personal problems and how she changes. Now, let's address the big question. Is it actually gay? Short answer, yes. Long answer, it's a very, very slow burn, but it's worth every second. I actually really hate slow burns, and as much as I love Adachi and Shimamura, it was just so slow that sometimes I had to put it down, and then months or even years later, I picked it back up, but I finally caught up this year. So, Volume 12, come soon please. Back to Otherside Picnic. Toriko openly confesses her love multiple times, but Sorowo, being the useless lesbian she is, just cannot process that Toriko would actually love her in that way. The slow buildup of their relationship feels honestly earned and makes the romantic moments hit so much harder. When the two finally acknowledge their feelings, Miyazawa writes it so tastefully that I almost literally had to give him a standing ovation. It was just that good. And honestly, I cannot wait to see how the manga artist Mizuno Ita handles those scenes. Okay, so you're interested in Other Picnic now, right? If you're wondering which version to dive into, here is my thoughts on it. For the novel, it's the deepest dive into the characters' minds and emotions. If you love psychological depth and world building, this is probably my #1 pick, and I'm not being biased, it's just true. We get to see the way that Sorowo thinks and the emotions she's feeling in the moment. The manga is honestly a really good adaptation. It still captures the creepy vibe with the art. It does move a bit faster, but it still hits every point in the story. Also, if you just like more visual art, then go for it. I haven't caught up with the manga, but from what I read, the artist does a really good job with everything. Now, the anime, it was a decent adaptation. I watched it when it first came out and it was okay. The CGI wasn't that good, but the story was still there, so I would check it out. Overall, what I recommend is the novel first, then the manga second, and the anime third. But I will say the manga and novel are a very close tie. Otherside Picnic is honestly my all-time obsession. With the sci-fi horror, the slow burn romance, and the character complexities, it's just a well-written and well-produced novel. I think that there isn't a lot of horror Yuri from what I've seen, and Otherside Picnic just hits the ball out of the park. Even though it's on its 10th volume in Japan, and of this recording, 8th volume in English, there's still so much more to be explored on the other side and the relationship between Toriko and Sorowo. So I'm excited for the new volumes, and I hope Miyazawa continues to write about the fun and thrilling adventures Toriko and Sorowo will have. Also, side note, back when I was at my peak obsession, this is my confession, I bought an orange parka just like Sorowo's. Do I wear it? No. But do I regret it? A little. It was $80. It was from Uniqlo though. Also, I made a Discord server where we talk about Yuri and chill, so if you want to join, it'll be in the description below. and I'll see you next week.